Facebook has this massive database information that Google cannot get at. And they've got 1 trillion connections between their billion users, and they want to use that to give value to the users and ultimately make a lot of money. Facebook, as you say, is a public company. They've got to bring in the bread, and there's nothing more lucrative than search advertising on the internet.
Has this been tested? Have they done testing to see how an 18-year-old thinks, how a 28-year-old thinks, et cetera?
So this is where they have to just dribble it out very slowly. Only a few thousand people now, regular users, are using it.
And you've used it?
Well, they switched it on for me. I used it inside Facebook until yesterday. Then they switched it on for me and some journalists and a few thousand people. But they don't know how 18-year-olds and 28-year-olds are going to use it. That's why they have to dribble it out and get the information, get the data, because that's really what makes search engines good, is to see user behavior and then fix the search engine to make it answer their questions more effectively.
Okay, so they're capitalizing on all this data that they've collected on you, Tom, myself, but how does Graph Search fit in with monetizing mobile, which is really their biggest challenge?
So that's one of the few next steps that's coming. Right now it just
to be continued.
It just does photos, it does locations, it does who your friends are, finding people. But the next things are to index all those posts that are in the middle of the page of Facebook, the news feed, and then mobile. They're going to have amazing opportunities in mobile because location is going to be a big part of it. So I'll be able to say not only who my friends are near me, but who are the single women who like Game of Thrones near me.
That was what I was going to ask.
Well, let's talk about what Mark Zuckerberg told you when you went to Facebook's headquarters. He said that there's no real way to cut through the content of what people are sharing to fulfill, and here we get a little warm and fuzzy here, big human needs about discovery, to find people. We're the only service in the world that can do that. And he paints a nice contrast there with the computer-generated algorithms that Google uses.
Big human needs. Is this a dating service?
Among other things. That's one thing they did not shy away from. Dating and recruiting. So if you're Match.com, OKCupid, or LinkedIn, Monster, you're worried about this. Because he said, here's something we do all the time. Show me Google engineers who are friends with Facebook engineers.
Let's bring in someone from outside this realm.
Engineer and say, approach your friend for us.
John Golub, equity strategist, UBS. Your thoughts on this search engine versus Google?
There's a lot of things that catch me speechless. I'm not sure in the world that I live in, as a grown-up, that this is affecting my life. I will tell you, I'm amazed with my kids how how they're using this technology. Not only Facebook, which they're a little young for, but the number of services that they play with, and some of them they discard and move on to something else. But us here at this table, I'm not sure.
What was the backstory in the mystery announcement yesterday? I thought it was like juvenile.
Well, these places, they want to orchestrate the coverage there. This is a Steve Jobs trick, right?
Yeah.
Keep the suspense going. So you get a few days publicity, and then it comes out. I have to say, they let me in early. I was the guy who was able to drop a big story after it happened. So maybe I'm not the guy to criticize. I sort of benefit from that mystery.
Fair.
Full disclosure here, right? Well, Graph Search, which is the name of the new product, is developed and led by ex-Googlers, two people who used to work at Google. Is Google quaking from this development, do you think?
Google's been waiting for this to happen for years. I mean, you see what they're doing.
So it's a surprise it took this long?
Google Plus. They know that Facebook was going to go into search. Facebook could not, because the money is there. And right now they're not monetizing it in a way that they will. But when you search for something, you give your intent away. And wow, for advertisers, that's fantastic. They know what you're going to do and can sell you something for that instant. And
that's a game changer for Facebook, because up until now, it's just about what people liked, not their intent.
That's right. And so they were able to say, well, we know that you like this. Let's see if you'll be interested in this ad. But this is it. You like this. You want this now. Here's a way to buy it.
Okay. With Google, strategically, with Google as the enemy, Microsoft is a frenemy, let's call them, of Facebook. Does this replace Bing?
No, Bing is part of it, because if Facebook can't answer your question, they send you to Bing for Bing's web.
Okay, full disclosure, I never editorialize. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bing is useless. I just don't get it. The algorithms or whatever behind
it's
it when I
useful.
search, it's useless.
Microsoft and Bing are useful in that they're not Apple, they're not Google, and they're not Facebook. They've benefited from all the other Silicon Valley titans fighting each other.
Yeah, no, I wrote the Google book, but I have to say you're a little extreme on Bing. Bing is pretty good web search. I'll use Google more, but for a few things, you know, like I might use Bing, and I think that Bing is not out of the ballpark.
I can't wait to talk to you 3 months from now, 3 years from now, to see where this is and where Google's search market share is. I start out skeptical, to say the least.
Well, no, I agree with you in the long run. You know, Google and search is not going away, and they've already built something with Google Plus, which is going to keep them in the social search game with Facebook.